Hi, I'm Kathy Cregan, CPA with Tax Magic Podcast. Hey, I always forget to ask to like and subscribe, so I'm going to ask in the beginning this time because I just remembered for the last one that I didn't do it in. So if you would please like and subscribe, that'd help us tremendously. So today I'm going to talk about what you didn't do last week. If you didn't file your tax return on the 15th, you potentially could have a late filing penalty. There's two things. If you owe, there's an entirely different set of rules than if you're getting a refund. If you owe, there's a failure to file penalty as well as a failure to pay penalty and interest on all of it. So the failure to file penalty is 5% per month on the unpaid balance, not to exceed 25%. The failure to pay penalty is actually 0.5%, not to exceed 25%. And the total failure to pay and file over time, if you don't file for a really long time, like 24 months, is 47.5%. So you owe $100, they're going to hit you with let's say $1,000. They're going to hit you with $1,475 in penalties plus the going interest rate. So I suggest you file. Even if you can't pay it, if you file now, it's going to cut the failure of file penalty down and you can get on a payment plan. As long as you filed all your prior returns and you're current. If you're not, you need to get current in order to get on the payment plan. If you don't do that, the IRS has the ability to prepare what's called a substitute tax return. That tax return they file on your behalf and they don't include any expenses. They just pick up all your income and a standard deduction and hit you with the tax on that. So if you're self-employed or have a mortgage or children, like to get the child credit, you're not going to get any of those to reduce the taxes. They're going to hit you with the highest possible amount they can because it's in their best interest to do that, not your best interest. So you should really file your return now and worry about paying it later if you owe. So if you don't owe, they can still do a substitute return, but you have 3 years to file that return and still receive your refund. If you don't file it within those 3 years, you will relinquish your refund and you will not get it. Many years ago, like a really long time, when I worked in Key West, we had an incident where the taxpayer's child had been run over and died, and they hadn't filed it within 3 years. I think that's a reasonable cause to not do anything for a few years. The IRS said, nope, it's our money. You missed the filing deadline. We're keeping it. There is no reasonable cause when it comes to that 3-year mark. It's a hard 3 years. So if you owe, file. If you don't owe, file to get your refund. Make sure you do it within 3 years. Now, if you owe, the minimum penalty for 2025, if you are more than 60 days late, is the minimum penalty is the smaller of $525 or 100% of the unpaid tax. So if you owe $400, you're going to have a penalty of $400. That's 100% right there. If you have more than the $525, then your minimum payment penalty is going to be $525. It's the smaller of the two. So you really want to file. If you don't, it just isn't, it's not good for you. So We're going to take you from tax tragic to tax magic, because the more you know, the less you owe. Reach out and get your tax returns filed. It will benefit you in the long run. I think it should anyway. So remember to like and subscribe and refer us to your friends. You never know what you're going to find when you come here. Could be fun.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice of any kind. Always consult with your tax professional. Be sure to read this full disclosure. Listener discretion is advised.